What's going on, guys? So I want to talk to you guys today about 5 mistakes that I've made in my 20s and how you can avoid them. Alright, so in this video, guys, I just want to say if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure that you subscribe down below so you never miss a video. If you have been around, you've noticed that I've been posting a lot of workouts, and I just want to let you guys know and just be upfront and very transparent with you that when it comes to fitness, my take is that it's not just about the body. Everything starts in the mind. If your mind is not in the right place, then your body is not going to follow. Have you ever thought about why you've never followed through on a workout plan? Why you haven't followed through on a diet plan, whatever it is? It's probably because something happened in life and it threw you off course, or you just didn't feel motivated, whatever the case was. And that all comes back to your mindset. So that's why a lot of my videos going forward, we're going to do not only exercises and workouts, we're also going to focus a lot on mind. I'm going to do some vlogs. I'm going to take us through my day. I'm going to show you what I do. And then I'm also going to just give you some real life experiences that I've had that I can share with you to go ahead and benefit you as well. So just jumping right into this video, guys. The first thing I want to talk about, again, this video is the 5 mistakes that I've made in my 20s. There's been plenty more, but these are kind of just like the top 5 that I could think of off the top of my head. And the first one was not taking enough risks and caring too much about what other people think. Okay, so we all know what the basic, outline is. We go to college, we get out of college, we get a job, we get a good pay, we get a house, we raise a family, we retire, whatever the case. That's kind of the mold that society has set up for us. And that mold used to work, but now in this day and age with the internet and all the different opportunities that we have, that mold doesn't work. And the reason why it doesn't work is it doesn't set you up to actually live the life you want, number one. And number 2, you don't have the freedom, which nowadays see in social media. We have all this exposure to people that we see, living their dream life and doing all these things. And we think that it's not possible, and we wish that we could do it for ourselves. And that leads us into a bad mental state. But I want to tell you right now that it is possible. You can do it. The internet has given us a platform that anybody can take advantage of. Everybody has a story. Everybody has an audience out there. I don't care if you're doing basket weaving or you're doing basketball. The bottom line is that there's people out there that are interested in what you have to say and can relate to you, and you can inspire and help and motivate each other. So what it comes back to again is like not taking risks. So I ultimately had a scenario where I was working at a corporate job. I was a manager, and I was starting to get into the idea of wanting to become a personal trainer. So I had gotten certified and I started training clients online. I never really wanted to do the in-person thing. I did a couple, but it just wasn't really the way that I saw myself to freedom, because you're still trading your time for money at the end of the day. And I wanted to be online based so I can reach more people, have more of an impact, and I can also create financial freedom for myself. So it's a win-win for everybody. And I was kind of in a position where I was at this job and I started doing this business on the side, and I think I had it going for like 2 months, and my district manager found out. So I actually got fired. And the thing that taught me was it doesn't matter what kind of, how much effort you put in or how much time you spend at a company. The bottom line is that if they want to fire you, you're done. Like all the progress that you've done, all the work that you've done for them, it's gone. It's nothing. It stays with them. It doesn't go with you. Yes, the experience of certain things do, but something I want to clarify on that is some people will be a manager for 20 years at the same thing, say at LA Fitness. Well, and they'll say they have 20 years of experience. No, you don't. You have 1 year of experience repeated 20 times, because yes, there are little things that change throughout the day, but for the most part, you're doing the same thing every single day that entire time. So you're not really evolving. You're not really learning new things. And something that I started doing was, at that point when I got fired, I started my own business and I ventured out and I started going online. I started promoting my message and started promoting what I had inside of me that I wanted to get out, that I feel that I could share with the world. And ever since then, it's been a journey. It's been an up and down journey for sure. Anytime you're going into any type of entrepreneurship, business on your own, you're now responsible for creating your income. You're not getting it from somebody else by collecting a check. You are responsible for creating your own income. And that's a totally different way of working than collecting a check is. There's nothing wrong with collecting a check if that's what you want to do, but just realize that it's a completely different thing. But it's been so rewarding for me to go ahead and take that risk. And I did it, I was about 26, so I did it on my second half of my 20s, which is still early. Most people don't even do this or even realize this until it's way too late in life. But it's something that I've been using social media since I was probably 15, 16. Instagram came out when I was like 22, 23. So I did get started pretty quickly, but had I actually started and had the mindset when I was younger and actually put that time and effort, energy into myself, things would be 10x what they are today. So just encourage you to go ahead and take a jump, take a risk. I'm not saying go ahead and quit your job today, but start doing something on the side. If you live at home, you don't have a lot of bills, you don't have any debt, you don't have student loan debt, credit cards, you are in the best possible position, because as soon as you start paying rent, you start paying credit cards, you start paying car bills, whatever it is, you're gonna realize very, very quickly that you have to keep income coming in, and you're gonna find it more and more difficult to actually take that leap because you're so reliant on your income, especially if you have a lot of debt and you're constantly giving all of your income that you get in back out. So ultimately what this entire bullet point in this message is about, guys, is to stop fearing other people, because the reason why most people don't start doing something they want to do is they're scared of what their mom's gonna think, they're scared of what their sister's gonna think, they're scared of what their friends are gonna think, they're scared of what everybody's gonna think. They're gonna put a video on YouTube and they're gonna get bad comments, and they're afraid of that, and they're afraid to take a risk just in general. So the thing is, if you don't do what you want to do, you're gonna have regret down later. You can take the comfortable path now, you can keep doing the things that you're doing, but I guarantee you, whether you're 40, 50, 60, 80, or on your deathbed, whatever it is, you're going to wish that you had tried something new. Because by doing the same thing, like I said earlier, you're constantly remaining the same. All right, so mistake number 2, guys, is something that I kind of mentioned in the first bullet point, but I actually started using credit cards when I was about 18 years old. And it was good because it allowed me to increase my credit score. But once I turned 24 and I started making some more money, I started to use my income that I was getting plus charging credit cards, and then I ended up in credit card debt. I took out my first consolidation loan, and actually I just paid that off this month. So I have no more payments on that, thank God. But when I got that consolidation loan, what do you think happened? I started using the credit cards again as well. So not only did I have the consolidation loan, but now I had debt as well, which I was trying to erase by using the credit cards. And ultimately, guys, what this does is it makes you a slave to the lender. You are borrowing money, you have to pay it back, whether you make minimum payments or you make big payments. The bottom line is that whatever you charge, you have to pay back. So the more you charge, obviously the higher your payment gets, the higher interest gets, and the harder it gets for you to actually get out of that debt. And you can realize very, very quickly that you're making $72,000 a year, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck. Why is this? Well, because you're paying $600, $700, $800 a month in interest, and you're giving all of your money that's coming in right back out. So this does not put you into a position to actually succeed financially or succeed in life, because money is a resource. You have to think of it as a tool and a resource. It's not just something that you get and you spend and spend and spend. It's a resource. Money allows you to do things, allows you to have freedom, allows you to go on trips, it allows you to, hire people, it allows you to do all of these different things to benefit your time and to benefit your life. And if you're constantly giving it all away, you're not gonna have any resources for yourself. Ultimately, what this comes down to is that we live in a very thing-focused society. We always look forward to the next thing. As soon as we get a job promotion, what do? We start spending more. We want the nicer car, we want the nicer house, we want the newest iPhone, we want the newest headphones. And ultimately, this goes to living below your means. So I always urge you guys to live below your means. If you're making $4,000 a month, you don't have $3,800 in bills every month, because you're never gonna get ahead. You're never gonna have that freedom. You're always gonna feel like you're under stress. You're always gonna feel like you have no breathing room and somebody's holding you by the neck. And where this really comes from, guys, is nowadays, like again in the previous point, social media. We see everybody doing all these things. We see all of these fancy cars, these fancy houses, and we want to be a part of that. As humans, we always want to be part of something. That's why we usually buy what we buy. People don't buy Gucci bags necessarily because they love the Gucci bag. They buy it because they become a part of that elite culture and that elite group. they feel special, they feel privileged because they have that bag. So at the end of the day, this just comes down to that fact. So I urge you guys to just stop trying to keep up with the Joneses, keep in your lane. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. So if you have to put it on a credit card, then you can't afford it, so don't buy it. And all that this does by trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to keep up this image is you're gonna have this image that you wanna keep for everybody else, right? You're trying to keep up this image that your life is great and you have all these great things, and you have this fake image that you're trying to keep up with. Meanwhile, you're struggling to pay your bills, you're struggling to really just be happy in life. And you have, again, this image you're trying to upkeep when inside you want to just hide, you know? So that's something that's happened to me personally. I mean, I know I've felt like that many times where, you know, I didn't want to post a picture. I didn't want to post this because, oh, my hair didn't look like this, or, oh, this picture wasn't this, and I wasn't as shredded in this picture. And it's because we try to keep up this image for everybody else. And if you guys just be yourself and you remain 100% authentic, you're gonna be a lot more happy in life. All right, and reason number 3, guys, is obsessing over information. And again, this is huge to modern day society. We obsess over, we can search the internet for anything we want to know. It's so easy. You just type in Google, you talk to Siri, you talk to Alexa, whatever the case. It's so easy. We have so much access to information that we've never had before. We've never lived in a world where it's so easy to access what we want. You want to watch a show, you just push a button. You want to go on an app, you push a button. You want to take a picture, you take a button. You know, it's so simple to get any information that we want nowadays. And what this does ultimately is it cripples us. It leads us down this road of consume, 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 and we never actually take any action. And that's something that I definitely was guilty of, especially when I first started working out. I was always Googling, you know, all these different workouts, all these different diets and this and that. And then the problem was I was trying this, then I was trying that, I was trying this, I was trying that. And then this guy said this, and I was never actually sticking to one approach because I was just obsessed with trying all this new information that I was getting. And it led to a lot of frustration in, you know, my physical life because I wasn't actually getting the results I wanted because, again, I was never sticking to one solid approach. And the other problem with searching for all these different things is, say you find a YouTube video, say you find an article, whatever it is that you're actually looking for, the problem is that you stay motivated for that short time. So you watch this video and, you know, you get motivated and you feel great and all these things, but again, it's just information. If you don't actually implement what you're learning, then motivation only lasts so long. You have to be disciplined. You have to be able to stick to something long enough to actually reap the benefits from it. So that's reason number 3. All right, and reason number 4, guys, is being too much of a people pleaser. So how many of you can relate to this? I know a lot of people out there that constantly, this is a big one here. You have notifications on your phone. You get a text message from a friend who has a question. You drop everything that you're doing so that you can go ahead and answer his question. What that does is it ultimately, you're disrespecting your time and you're making yourself so available that anybody can reach you at any point and they're gonna expect an instant answer. And this is a way that sometimes we don't always realize, but you're being a people pleaser in that moment. What I suggest you do is get back to people on your time. If you're currently in the park and you're relaxing, don't be responding to text messages. Be in the moment, be present. And that's kind of what we're gonna go into in the next step, but just try not to always put people first, because at the end of the day, guys, it's great to be, you know, good to people. I encourage you to be a good person, but if you're always putting everybody before you, you're gonna end up miserable because you're not satisfying your wants, your needs, your desires, the things that make you happy. And another way that I can kind of relate to this to you guys is, think about when you are maybe in your early 20s, you know, you're maybe just in college, or maybe you've just gotten out of high school, whatever the case is. You know, you find yourself kind of following the crowd. You find yourself doing what other people do that necessarily maybe you don't want to do, but you're trying to fit in. So for me, for example, a big one like this is once I turned 21, and sometimes even in college, but for the most part, after I graduated from college, I kind of stopped really liking the club scene, the bar scene. And I would find myself being around people that were always doing those things, and they would invite me and I would go, and ultimately I would get there and I'd be like, why am I here? I don't really like this. I'm not happy. I'm not having a good time. And I would just wish that I was at home and I was, you know, maybe exercising, or I was watching, you know, my favorite show, or I was working on something that I wanted to work on. And this is kind of weird. This is not, you know, what they say the norm, but I guarantee you there's a lot more people who feel like this. They just continue to ultimately say yes to everything, and they're not satisfied because they're doing things they don't want to do because they want to make other people happy. They want to go to this event, they want to go to this birthday, because if they don't, this person's going to be mad. At the end of the day, that has no reflection of you, it has a reflection of them. So I always encourage you to put yourself first in everything you do. You're gonna end up a lot happier that way, and you're gonna end up actually accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish in life. All right, and number 5, guys, this is my last kind of tip here, and that is worrying too much about the future, worrying about your, you know, success that you want to reach, and not being fully present each and every day and each and every moment. And this is something that I still struggle with. This is something that I still work on every single day, but we get so caught up in, you know, maybe we're working as a front desk clerk. For me, for example, this was a big one. I was a front desk clerk at a gym for my first job, and then I was a front desk clerk at a hotel, and I always wanted to be the manager. I always wanted that management, and I was always striving, and that's just the way I am. I always want to be the best. I always want to progress. But I was so concerned with trying to be here that I was forgetting about doing my very best here and enjoying that moment. It's the same thing anytime you're on vacation. Be present. Anytime you're anywhere, if you're at a park, you know, put the phone down, listen to the birds, listen to the wind, enjoy the moment you're in. You're at the beach, listen to the waves, you know, listen to the birds, and just enjoy that moment, take it in. You know, we're living in this society now where we always want to capture the moment, and what we end up doing is we end up missing the moment. So just slow down, enjoy your journey. If you're trying to get to a certain level in your business, just realize that all the struggles, everything you're doing is developing you. You're learning, you're making mistakes, but you need to learn from those mistakes. Don't continue to make them. Obviously use those experiences to learn from so that you can continue to get better and excel in life. And just enjoy that moment, enjoy that climb, because when you get there, when you get to where you want to be, you're going to look back and you're going to be so much more grateful because you've had those experiences. If you just get to success and you just get all these things that you want, but you didn't have to go through any hardships, you didn't have to go through any pain, you didn't have to go through anything to get it, it's not going to be the same thing. You know, it's like they say lotto people who, you know, win the lotto. A lot of them end up losing that money very fast because they were just handed all this money and they had no way to handle it. They didn't have to work for it. They were just handed it. It's the same thing with a lot of NBA players. You know, granted, yes, they have to work very hard in training and in the gym and all these different things, but it's something like 78% of NBA players go bankrupt within 5 years after finishing. Like, that's astonishing when you think about how much money these guys make. And ultimately, a lot of this, and the reason why they, you know, end up this way is because they're being people pleasers, they're living above their means, and they're not being present, they're not enjoying that climb, and they're trying to live way, way, way above their means. So this was just my little video, guys, on 5 tips that I've made in my 20s and kind of just ways that you could maybe avoid these things. So if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you can relate to any of these, let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And as always, if you are not subscribed yet, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.